On the minds of many fans will be the horrible bombing at the Ariana Grande concert, where so many young people were in attendance. Might have you thinking about, how do you talk to your kids about this? Maybe you're going to that concert, another one. It brings up a lot of concern.
It does, and it is a tough thing for parents. And how do you address that? So we have Tracy Berry here to tell us more. She has a psychologist here with some answers for us.
Yes, we want to welcome back Dr. Darcy Walker of Core Parenting. Thank you for being with us today. We were talking a little bit before we got going, and I think one of the most important things is you need to find out where your kids are with this. Are they worried? Are they concerned? We as parents just assume, right, the worst, and that's not always the case.
Right. I always suggest that we start with two questions. The first one is, what are you thinking about? And what are you wondering about? When we find out what the kids already know, what they're thinking about, what they're wondering about, then we can actually kind of go where they're at and answer the questions that are going to be able to help them.
I think when my kids were smaller, I used to try to protect them from things like this. But as they get older, with social media, with their friends, with so much exposure, I don't see how you can avoid talking about it. They know.
Right. Kids are hearing from their friends, or they're seeing it on their own social media platforms. So we have to be able to be available to them to give them the information that they need, rather than the information from their friends or what might be out there on media.
You talk about something called drop-by-drop processing. What is that?
Right. I really love that term. It's the idea that we want to give little bits of information that's developmentally kind of appropriate for our kids, a little bit at a time, and then pause, wait, and see where they're at. Kids will ask for more information as they need it, and they'll stop when they're done. So it's kind of like if a child was asking for help with addition and we started talking about trigonometry. We overload them with information and we flood them, and it's not helpful at all. And so when we stay right where they're at with little bits of information, then they control the flow.
In a practical sense, though, help us. Say we have a child going to a concert here in the next week or so, and they know this has happened. What do we say to them? Gee, honey, make sure you know where the exits are. I mean, it's very anxiety producing.
Right. It's really anxiety producing. I think that the thing that we need to really remind our children and ourselves of is that these are relatively rare, statistically rare situations, that normal is not this. So there's lots and lots of examples of times in their lives and in our lives and around us that are neutral or positive data. And it's really important that we help our kids understand that they need to focus on the neutral or positive to kind of balance out what they're seeing in the media that is really scary or overwhelming.
You also say it sometimes helps to give them some way to process their worry. What do you mean by that?
Right. When we take in information that is anxiety provoking or worrisome, our brain wants to do something with it. And a lot of these situations are way outside of their control or have little impact on their daily life. So there is nothing to do with the anxiety, and we feel really powerless, and we're more likely to feel more afraid. Giving a kid something to do, anything to do. So with little kids, if it's drawing a picture, or with older kids, they can send a card, or they can have their friends over and light candles and listen to music and kind of do something that helps give them a place to put their energy and feel like they're being active in dealing with the situation and with their anxiety.
And you're holding something that could help.
This is one of my favorite toys. So this is called a Hoberman sphere, or you can, it's also referred to as a breathing ball. But basically, and you can get them at toy stores really easily. So you breathe in as you pull the ball open, and then you breathe out and collapse it. And I like to have these just around the house, so you time your breathing as the ball goes in and out. And a lot of times, if you're having a hard conversation or information's on the news, I'll just grab the ball and either use it myself or give it to one of my kiddos to use. And it helps them learn how to regulate their breath and emotionally regulate while they're dealing with the hard information.
Which is critical, isn't it?
So critical.
Learning to deal with those emotions, because honestly, in the world we live in, it's not going away.
Right. There's so many things that we could be afraid of, and really what we're trying to teach our kids is how to emotionally regulate all the time, whether it's anxiety about school, or it's anxiety about friends, or it's something about concerts like this. They need to be able to regulate the anxiety that they're having inside without solving the problem, because we can't solve it.
Great information. Dr. Darcy Walker of Core Parenting, thank you. I think we all need to get one of these breathing balls, you guys.
Great. Yeah.